My brother looked me in the eyes and said, "Dad wanted me to have everything. You don't deserve a penny." I didn't argue. I didn't shout. I just smiled. He thought he won. He thought Dad's death meant he finally had leverage over me. But what he didn't know was that Dad left a second will. A real one. A legal one. And my brother had no clue it existed. It started the night Dad passed. Hospital room, cold air. Machines beeping until they didn't. Mom had been gone for years, so it was just us and him. My brother, Mark, stood stiff at the end of the bed. No tears, no emotion. Just waiting. I sat next to Dad, holding his hand. He whispered one last time, barely audible, "Take care of everything. Don't let him ruin it." I knew exactly what he meant. Mark always felt entitled. Eldest son. Golden child. Dad spoiled him young, but as he grew, that turned into resentment. Dad saw his laziness, his gambling, his debts. I saw it too. The day after the funeral, Mark invited me to his house. He poured 2 drinks, fake smile on his face. Then he leaned in. "Let's make this easy," he said. "Dad wanted me to handle the estate. You step aside, I'll make sure you get something." "Something?" I asked. "Yeah, a small cut. But not equal. You don't deserve half." That word, deserve, stuck. I didn't answer. I just watched him. His arrogance leaked from every word. He thought he had the upper hand. Then came the reading of the will. He walked in with that smug grin, already celebrating. The lawyer opened the envelope, started reading Dad's last words. Dad left everything to both of us. Equal split. Clear. Signed. Witnessed. Mark's smile cracked, but he recovered fast. After the meeting, he cornered me outside. His voice sharp. "That will isn't real. Dad told me himself, everything is mine. You better walk away before I drag you through court." I said nothing. Just nodded. He thought silence meant surrender. Weeks passed. Papers arrived. He challenged the will. Hired lawyers. Started spreading rumors that I manipulated Dad. That I forced him to sign. Family friends whispered. Neighbors looked at me different. He poisoned everything, but I stayed calm. I had something he didn't. Years before, Dad had quietly updated his estate plan. He never told Mark, he only told me. That document was airtight, and locked in a safe deposit box only I knew about. Mark kept pushing, calling, threatening. One night he even shouted, "I'll ruin you before I let you touch a cent." I let him. Court date came. He strutted in, chest out. Expensive suit probably bought with borrowed money. His lawyer smirked like the outcome was already written. Judge sat. Case opened. Mark's lawyer spoke first. Painted me as greedy. Manipulative. A liar. He said Dad confided only in Mark. That I was just the younger brother who took advantage. I sat still. Silent. Then it was my lawyer's turn. He stood calm, measured. "Your Honor, before we proceed further, we have an additional document to present." Mark froze. His lawyer blinked. I opened the folder. Slid the second will across. The room shifted. The judge read silently. Eyebrows raised. This wasn't the same will. This was Dad's final version. More detailed. More specific. And it didn't just split things equally. It gave me control. Executor rights. Full authority. Mark's share locked, conditional. No access until debt's cleared. No chance to touch it recklessly. Mark's face drained white. He stuttered. That's fake. That can't be real." But it was. Dated. Witnessed. Filed. Verified. The judge looked at him. "Mr. Reynolds, this is valid. Unless you have proof otherwise, your claim is dismissed." Silence. Pure silence. Mark's lawyer fumbled, whispered in his ear. Mark shook his head violently. His arrogance collapsed in real time. I sat back, watching. That smile he hated finally crept across my face. Dad had known. He prepared for this exact moment. And now the revenge was unfolding in front of everyone. Mark's face went pale. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. For the first time in his life, he didn't have control. The judge tapped the table. "Mr. Reynolds, unless you have solid evidence to dispute this, the matter is closed. This is your father's valid will. Mark's lawyer tried to stall. "Your Honor, we request time to examine the authenticity." The judge cut him off. "This was filed legally. Witnesses are alive and confirmed. You had months to provide proof. Case dismissed." Gavel struck. "Done." The courtroom emptied, but Mark just sat there. His hands shook, his jaw clenched. I walked past him slowly. He wouldn't look me in the eyes. "Outside," he snapped. Grabbed my arm. "You set me up." I looked down at his hand, then back at him. Calm. "Dad set you up. I just followed his wishes." His grip loosened. He whispered, almost begging now. "Please, don't do this. I need access. I'm drowning." There it was. The truth. Debts. Loans. Creditors. His whole life built on sand. I pulled my arm free. Not my problem. For years he had mocked me, called me the weaker brother, took what wasn't his, lied to everyone, and now, when everything collapsed, he expected me to save him. I didn't. Word spread fast. Family friends who believed his lies stopped calling. Relatives who sided with him now saw the truth. His reputation sank. Weeks later, creditors started showing up. One came to my office by mistake, asking for him. I smiled politely and said, "Try the casino. That's where he spends most nights." They did. He stopped answering calls. His car got repossessed. His house almost foreclosed. I drove past one day and saw furniture stacked on the curb. He stood in the driveway, yelling at movers. The same man who once told me I didn't deserve a penny, now begging banks to let him keep his roof. I didn't stop. Dad's will gave me control over the estate. Properties, accounts, everything. Mark couldn't touch a dollar until he cleared debts. And everyone knew he never would. He tried one last time. Showed up at my door, unshaven, desperate. "Please, just a loan. Just enough to get me back on my feet." I leaned against the door frame. Looked him in the eye, just like he did to me months earlier. "Dad wanted me to have everything," I said quietly. His face broke. His own words thrown back at him. He stumbled back, muttered curses, then walked away. That was the last real conversation we ever had. Over the next year, I rebuilt. Sold off old land, invested wisely, honored Dad's wishes. I donated part of the estate to causes he cared about. Scholarships, community centers, things that mattered. People remembered Dad as a good man. His legacy lived on. Mark? He became a ghost. Moved out of town. Rumors spread. Odd jobs, cheap motels, maybe worse. Nobody really knew, but I knew one thing. His downfall wasn't because of me. It was because of him. His greed, his lies, his arrogance. All I did was stand back and let the truth surface. And in the end, when the will was read, Dad spoke louder than both of us. Months passed. Silence from Mark. I didn't chase him. I didn't need to. Life has a way of chasing people like him. Every letter from the lawyer reminded me how different our paths had become. My name on deeds. My name on bank accounts. My name carrying Dad's legacy forward. His name on debt lists. His name whispered by collectors. His name cursed by anyone he owed. At first I felt guilty. Not for winning, but for watching him sink. But then I remembered every moment he stood in my way. Every time he told me I was nothing. Every holiday where he gloated. Flashing cash he never earned. Every night I stayed up late working while he gambled. Every word he threw at me, undeserving, weak, failure. Now he was the failure. And no amount of begging could change that. One day I got a call. Unknown number. I picked up. "Your brother's in the hospital," a tired voice said. "Collapsed. Stress and drinking. You're listed as his emergency contact." For a second I almost laughed. Emergency contact? He'd spent years cutting me out of his life. Now, when everything crumbled, I was the only one left. I drove there. He looked smaller, weaker. Tubes, monitors, pale skin. He opened his eyes and saw me. No anger this time, no pride. Just defeat. "You won," he whispered. I shook my head. "No, Dad won." He turned away. Couldn't hold my gaze. I thought I was smarter. I thought I deserved more. But I lost everything. I didn't answer. There was nothing left to say. Doctors asked about bills. I told them the truth. He was on his own. He signed himself out against medical advice 2 days later. I never saw him again. Years rolled on. I kept building. Dad's land turned into a thriving business park. His investments doubled. The scholarship fund put dozens of kids through college. Every project had Dad's name on it. People spoke his name with respect. At charity events, they shook my hand. "Your father would be proud." And I knew he would. Meanwhile, Mark became nothing more than a shadow in stories. Someone saw him bussing tables in a distant town. Someone else said he was living out of a motel. Rumors only. Nobody really knew. I didn't look for him. I didn't need closure. I already had it. Because revenge wasn't me taking anything from him. Revenge was him realizing he had destroyed himself. The will I revealed in court that day didn't just give me money. It gave me freedom. It gave me dignity. It gave me the power to walk through life without ever looking over my shoulder again. And Mark? He'll always remember the moment I looked him in the eye, the same way he once looked at me, and reminded him of his own words. Dad wanted me to have everything. That was the truth he could never escape. In the end, the inheritance wasn't just land, money, or accounts. It was the final judgment of a father who saw through his sons, one who knew who would build and who would destroy, one who left his legacy to the right hands. And that's why, to this day, when I stand on the land Dad left behind, I don't think about what Mark lost. I think about what I gained: respect, purpose, family name restored. Mark looked me in the eyes once and told me I didn't deserve a penny. Now the world knows I deserved it all.